I used to think that my thoughts defined me. The overthinking, the doubt, that little voice that whispered, "You're not enough." It wasn't just a thought, it became a belief, a quiet lie that shaped how I saw myself, how I treated people, how I showed up in the world. And for years, I lived like that. I let my thoughts decide what I was capable of, what I deserved, and who I could love. And the mind is, well, powerful. They can also be very, very cruel. Your mind can be your biggest op sometimes. It doesn't always tell you the truth, especially when you've been through pain. And sometimes your thoughts aren't you, they're just that echo of things you've been through, the mistakes you made, the people you hurt, the version of yourself that you're still learning to forgive. I used to wake up every morning, I feel this weight on my chest before even the day even began. It wasn't that the world was heavy, it was me. And I tried to grind, push through, smile through it, but deep down I felt lost. Because when your thoughts start telling you that you're not enough, no amount of progress feels like progress. And the worst part, I carried that energy into my relationships, my friendships, into my personal life. And I had someone who genuinely cared about me, someone who saw something in me that I couldn't see myself. But when you're broken inside, sounds so cringe to say, but love doesn't feel safe. It feels like pressure. You start to doubt every good thing. You think, why would they love me? You overthink every small thing, every silence, every argument. And I started lying, not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I didn't know how to tell the truth about who I was or what I was struggling with. And the thing about lies is that they build walls, and love can't break or love can't breathe through walls. So I lost her. Not because I didn't love her or anything, but because I didn't love myself enough to believe I could be loved right. I blamed her for leaving, but the truth is, I left first. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I let my thoughts convince me that I was unworthy, and I built my own distance. And that's when I realized something deep. When you let your thoughts win, everything loses meaning. The gym stops feeling like progress. The grind stops feeling like purpose. And life stops feeling like living. And because when you believe you're not enough, nothing you do ever feels like enough. And that's why one of my favorite songs of all time, Love Yours by J. Cole, hits so hard the older I get. He says, there's always gonna be a whip that's better than the one you got. Always gonna be some clothes that's fresher than the ones you rock. Always gonna be a bitch better out there on the tours. But you will never gonna be happy until you love yours. And then he also says, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. And that's the line that changed everything for me. It reminded me that peace doesn't come from comparison, and healing doesn't come from control. It comes from acceptance. It comes from finally saying, yeah, I flawed, but I'm still worthy. Yeah, I messed up, but I'm still growing. Yeah, I doubt myself, but I'm still here. Because you are not your thoughts. You are not your worst moment. You are not the voice that tells you to give up. You are not that pain that tries to define you. Those are just voices. And you don't let the voices win. Because you are the one that's still trying, the one that still shows up, the one that still believes there's more to life than what your mind is letting you see. And I had to learn that the hard way. That peace doesn't come from silencing your thoughts, it comes from understanding them. You start to realize not every thought deserves your attention. Some are just passing storms, meant to test how strong your foundation is. And I had to learn that faith and real faith isn't about pretending the thoughts don't come. Because the thoughts are always going to be there. Let's just be honest. It's about not letting them control who you become and who you are. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I've overcome my thoughts because I didn't. Sometimes I still struggle. Some nights I still overthink everything. I still replay those moments back in my head. Replay those nights, replay those arguments I had, wishing I could have did this, could have did that, but I can't change the past. I still question my worth. Like I said, I still replay old memories that don't even serve me anymore. But now I learn that I catch myself. I remind myself that my thoughts aren't me. They're just visitors. The voices, they're just voices. I'm not gonna let the voices win again. And if I don't open that door, they can't stay. So when your mind starts talking too loud, when it tells you you're behind, unlovable, or broken, just remember this. You made it through 100% of your worst days. You're here for a reason. That means you're stronger than every thought that ever tried to break you. And loving yourself, or I should say, love yourself like you'd love your little brother, your big brother, your best friend, your younger self, your family, because that's exactly who you're protecting every time you fight back against those thoughts. And love yourself when your mind doesn't, because loving yourself through the storm, through the pain, through the doubt, through the noise, that's the real definition of strength. And just like J. Cole said, it's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in success. You just gotta learn to love yours. Not the version your mind wants you to be, but the version that's standing right here now, still fighting to be better. Because you are not your thoughts. You never were. You are the one who survives them. And what I realized and what has helped me so far, whenever my thoughts get loud, I started meditating, praying, getting closer to my faith, to my God. And when you start trusting in yourself and start trusting in God's plan, you realize how far it can get you into life. Because like I said, you already survived 100% of your worst days. It can't get any worse. I mean, it can, but still. Even if it gets worse some way, somehow, you'll know exactly what to do. So don't forget, you are not your thoughts. You never were. You are stronger than you think. And you have survived so far. So why not keep it going? And don't forget, to be ballin', you have to be all in. Don't forget that. Stay real.